Most people wait for the sun to shine inside their mind before they move their feet. But here's the truth. The world doesn't care how you feel this morning. The bills still come, the opportunities still pass, and time still ticks. If your future is tied to the weather inside your head, then one cloudy day can steal a whole year from you. The question is, will you run your life by the forecast of your emotions or by the compass of your decisions? I've learned something over the years. Mood can be a wonderful companion, but it's a poor master. A good mood is like sunshine. It makes the journey pleasant. It warms the soul. It gives you a spring in your step. But the farmer doesn't plant only when the sun is shining. He plants when it's raining, when it's cloudy, and when the wind howls. Why? Because the harvest doesn't wait for perfect weather. If you only act when you feel good, life will pass you by and opportunities will slip through your fingers. In business and in wealth building, mood should be treated as a luxury, not the foundation of your decision making. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, asterisk, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Asterisk. Strength in this case means doing what must be done regardless of how you feel. I remember starting out in sales. There were days I woke up ready to conquer the world and days I would have rather stayed in bed. But my bills didn't care about my mood. The market didn't wait for me to feel inspired. So I learned to make discipline my engine and let mood simply be the music in the background. The truth is, your mood will fluctuate like the wind, but principles, discipline, and habits, those are the anchors. If you build your wealth strategy on a feeling, you'll find yourself broke on a sunny day and prosperous on a rainy one. The trick is to work the plan, whether your emotions are cheering you on or whispering excuses. Because the world doesn't reward how you feel, it rewards what you do. I've seen it time and again, people start something with fire in their eyes and passion in their hearts, but somewhere along the way, that fire fades. Why? Because emotion is like a spark. It flares up. It's exciting, it's beautiful, but it burns out fast if it's not fed. Discipline is the woodpile that keeps the fire alive long after the initial excitement is gone. When I first began my career, I wasn't living off emotion. If I had been, I'd have quit a dozen times in that first year. There were rejections, dry months, and moments when the bank account didn't match the effort. Emotion told me maybe this isn't for you. But discipline told me, show up, make the calls, knock on the doors, do it again tomorrow. That's what carried me forward. The ancient Stoics had it right. Seneca said, asterisk, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Asterisk, preparation doesn't happen on days when you feel like it. It happens every day. Discipline gets you up early, makes you practice your craft, study the numbers, and keep your commitments, even when your emotions are begging for an easy way out. Emotion might start the race, but discipline finishes it, and finishing is where the rewards live. If you want lasting success, let your feelings be passengers, but make discipline the driver. In the long run, it will carry you further than emotion ever could. When you rely only on willpower, you're asking yourself to fight the same battle every single day. And sooner or later, willpower gets tired. It runs out just like energy in a battery. That's why you need systems. Systems take the decision-making out of the moment and replace it with structure. So you don't have to feel like it in order to do it. In my early days, I had a system for prospecting. I didn't sit there every morning wondering if I was in the mood to make calls. I had a fixed time, a set list, and a target number of calls. No negotiating with myself. No bargaining, just the plan. Over time, it became automatic. And when something becomes automatic, you no longer waste energy deciding, you just execute. Think about it like farming. You don't decide every morning whether to plant seeds or pull weeds. You follow a season a schedule, and a process. That system means the work gets done regardless of the weather, the mood, or the distractions. A system frees you from the constant drain of choice and keeps you on track when motivation fades. Build one that works, and watch how it quietly produces results while others are still trying to talk themselves into getting started. When you put a structure around your actions, something magical happens. Those actions start to become habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of success, quietly shaping your days and eventually your life. Without structure, your efforts are like a ship without a rudder, tossed about by every wave of emotion or distraction. But when you build a framework, your actions gain momentum and consistency, and you no longer have to wrestle with whether to start or stop. In my own journey, I realized early on that showing up sporadically wouldn't build the life I wanted. I began setting specific times for reading, for working out, for planning my day. At first, it felt mechanical, almost like a chore. But over time, those actions became automatic habits that supported my goals, even when my motivation was low. Aristotle said it best, asterisk, we are what we repeatedly. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Asterisk. That means your structure isn't just about getting things done today, it's about shaping the person you become tomorrow. So turn your plans into a daily rhythm. Let your structure do the heavy lifting, and soon enough, your habits will carry you through even the toughest days without you having to rely on mood or motivation at all. Consistency is the silent force that shapes who you are. It's not the grand gestures or the occasional bursts of effort that define you, but the small, steady steps you take day after day. When you consistently show up and follow through, you send a powerful message to yourself. This is who I am. Early in my career, I struggled with doubt and uncertainty, but I made a commitment to consistency. No matter how I felt, I stuck to my schedule, kept my promises to myself, and showed up ready to work. Over time, that consistent behavior changed more than my results. It changed my identity. I stopped seeing myself as someone who tries but gives up, and started believing I was a person who follows through, no matter what. As the philosopher William James said, asterisk, act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Asterisk, your repeated actions become your beliefs, and your beliefs become your reality. If you want to change your life, start by changing your daily habits. Show up when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, when no one is watching, because that consistency builds trust. Trust in yourself, that you will do what you say, that you can handle the hard days, that you are reliable. And when you trust yourself, you begin to live as the person you want to be, not just someone who hopes to be. The hard days, the ones where you wake up tired, the world feels heavy, and your motivation is nowhere to be found, those are the days that count the most. It's easy to show up when the sun is shining and everything feels right. But real growth, real strength, comes from pushing through when it's tough. I remember early on when the work seemed endless and the rewards were distant. There were mornings I wanted to quit, evenings I wondered if it was worth it. But those hard days when I showed up anyway laid the foundation for every success that followed. They built my confidence and proved to me that I could rely on myself even when emotions said otherwise. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, asterisk, do what you can with what you have where you are. Asterisk, you don't have to be perfect or feel ready. You just have to keep moving forward. Those challenging days teach you resilience and discipline, and they send a powerful message to your mind and spirit. You are committed, and that commitment becomes your armor against doubt, fear, and uncertainty. When you embrace the hard days, you're no longer a victim of your moods. You become the master of your journey. Remember, it's not the easy days that define you, but the hard ones you refuse to give up on. Every time you stop and start over, you lose one of the most valuable assets you could ever build: momentum. Momentum is like a train, slow to get moving at first. But once it's rolling, it's almost unstoppable. The problem is, too many people keep hitting the brakes just when that train starts picking up speed. I've seen it in business, in health, in personal growth. Someone gets excited, takes action for a few weeks, and then something distracts them. A setback, a mood, or just life getting busy. They pause for a while, and before they know it, they're starting from zero again. And the worst part? Starting over feels heavier each time, because you know deep down you had already begun climbing that hill. Momentum doesn't just make the journey faster, it makes it easier. When you keep moving, your actions stack on each other. Habits get stronger, decisions get simpler, and progress becomes natural instead of forced. So instead of restarting over and over, make the choice to protect your momentum like a treasure. Most people want success to feel exciting every single day. They want fireworks, newness, and constant motivation. But the truth is, real success is built on a foundation that's far less glamorous. It's the same small, disciplined actions, repeated over and over, long after the initial excitement fades. It's not the thrill that builds wealth, health, or mastery. It's the consistency in the ordinary. Think about a farmer. He doesn't plant seeds one day and then expect to see a harvest the next. Day after day, he waters, tends, and protects those fields. Most of those days look exactly the same, but each one matters. Success works the same way. The boring days are the ones that quietly build your future. In my own life, I learned that when I embraced repetition, the results started compounding. Making those sales calls every day, reading a little every morning, exercising, even when it felt routine. It didn't always feel exciting in the moment, but over time, it became unstoppable progress. The people who win are the ones who can fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. If you can commit to doing the boring things well, you'll wake up one day to a life that feels anything but boring. You know, life will always offer you moods: the sunny days when everything feels possible, and the stormy ones when every step feels heavy. But if your success depends on the weather of your emotions, you're gambling your future on something as unstable as the wind. The real test is not how high you can climb when you feel inspired, but how steady you can walk when you feel nothing at all. A farmer doesn't plant only when the sky looks beautiful. He plants because it's the season. And in due time, the harvest comes not because of how he felt, but because of what he did. So, I'll leave you with this. Build a strategy that doesn't care about your mood. Build habits that show up when you don't feel like it. Build systems so reliable that even your worst day can't derail them. As Marcus Aurelius once said, asterisk, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Asterisk, now is the time to decide. Will you keep waiting for a good mood to carry you forward, or will you build the discipline to carry yourself? The choice is yours, and so is the reward.